Welcome to Estadio Matt Wilson, where tonight we honor number 12 on February 12th, throwing it back to 2015, all those many years ago, when the Tallahassee Pride, the Santa Fe Gorillas, Matt Wilson, and the rest of the boys hit the field in some of their first games ever. Tonight, it's O.J. Bruin, Jordan Sipe continuing on that quarterback tradition, and can't wait to get started. Alongside Charles Doherty, Ron Haynes, Frank Gooden on stats, Tyler Falk, and Chris Curtis back in the studio. I'm Cameron Irvine. Charles, can't wait to talk some Matt Wilson with you and watch a great football game. These two teams both very intriguing.
Oh yeah, very intriguing. Great way to put it. Each team's on a different trajectory here early in season 22. Jacksonville wants to extend their win streak to 2 games, while Mexico City is looking for their second win and their first win at home. We've got a great game tonight between 2 historic franchises in the SFL. I can't wait to see it. Let's get this game going.
It'll be O.J. Bruin wearing the number 1 right there. He's going to get the football first. And Mexico City, a.k.a. Santa Fe, will kick off. A beautiful night in Mexico City and a beautiful job done by this grounds crew of Estadio Matt Wilson. The 12 is in the middle of the field. Matt Wilson, we love you, and we play this game for you tonight. Kick it! We are underway. From the 5, this is Kingston Ellington on the return for Jacksonville. Going to get it out to the 30-yard line, so pretty good field position coming for the Kings on their opening drive. O.J. Bruin, he is a talent. 290 yards to 15,000 for his career.
Yeah, he is definitely a talent. Last game, he was kind of middle of the road. I think he's looking to improve on that. Big thing is trying to keep him upright. That offensive line needs to keep him clean.
Kingston Ellington goes in motion. The Tallahassee Pride Season 5 throwbacks. The purple helmets with the old logo, white jerseys, yellow pants with the purple numbers. Bruin will drop the pass, and Bruin fires deep down the field, caught by Connor Weston. Weston has been a force so far this season, 7th in the league in receiving yards.
That connection between Bruin and Weston is dangerous. That keeps any defensive coordinator up at night. O.J. Bruin's got a cannon of an arm, and you see it here just whizzing it over the safety into the arms of Weston.
Bruin in his 6th season, 3rd with the Kings, is in the backfield with Sean Sanders and Shepard Vicarian, a dynamic 1-2 punch that really is a true 1-2 punch. Jonathan Haynes, King Alexander, Joe Beasley, Kingston Ellington, and Connor Weston are your receivers on this squad. Tight ends and offensive line coming. O.J. Bruin, a quick drop back and fires it out to Weston. They're going to rule that a catch on the sideline, pickup of 9.
I think this secondary of the Aztecs are going to have the work cut out for them tonight. Both of the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, Weston and Ellington, are one of the fastest wide receivers in the league. Their rating in the game is 97. They run all over the field, blazing fast. I think Mexico City can run with them, but it's going to be a long game.
2nd down and 1. I formation here for Jacksonville, and they'll run it right at the Aztecs to the 39-yard line. That is Shepard Vicarian with his first carry. The tight ends for this team, Jim Copeland Jr. and Dot Williams, who's having a nice rookie season, the 31st pick in the draft. Watch Brennan Ryan, number 65, Marcella Martin, number 73, and Carly Forge, number 52, the 47th pick in the draft. On the line tonight, those are your offensive line stars. That is a backwards pass, so it will count as a run, a 1-yard carry for the tight end Williams.
Yeah, it looked like that was not the smoothest play in terms of developing. Gave a lot of time for that fast Mexico City defense to close in and bring him down.
3 receivers now. Nick, a look out of that Mexico City Aztec offense. I'm sure I will say defense rather. I'm sure I'll say the Santa Fe Gorillas a number of times tonight. You know what I mean. It's part of the festivities. Man in motion. O.J. Bruin back to pass. Bruin steps back in the pocket, fires to Connor Weston. He gets sandwiched but picks up the first down and holds on to the football.
Yeah, great accuracy and, again, great power by O.J. Bruin. I said at the beginning of the game, offensive line needed to keep Bruin clean, and they did. He had plenty of time in that backfield to go through his progressions and find Weston. Not necessarily open, but he threw it just where Weston could catch it.
Couple minutes into the game, Jacksonville's off to a hot start. It's the first primetime game for the Jacksonville Kings in quite some time here in the SFL. and excited to call their game tonight as Vakarian throws a human being about 4 yards and gets a 1st and goal down to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, saw some power out of Vakarian, and, no surprise. He's the strongest halfback out there on the field and also in the SFL, highest ranked, from a strength standpoint. You can see it right there. Just throws the defender out of the way, and he's going to need some aspirin.
7:46 to go in the first quarter. There's Estadio Matt Wilson, and Matt looking on. We'll be rewatching his iconic Hall of Fame speech from 2018 at the half. Talking about him throughout the night as Sean Sanders gets the carry just beyond the line of scrimmage. That's Max Jackson, one of the new players acquired in free agency for this team, the former owner of Las Vegas.
I got to say, I think Mike Daggs did all the customization for this for the stadium. It looks awesome, and I love the old uniforms for Mexico City.
Draw, Vakarian down to about the 4-yard line. Yeah, it's given me flashbacks for sure. It's kind of hard to believe, Charles, that we saw matchups like this about 10 years ago, and here we are in a totally different game, a totally different era.
Just like that, they're knocking at the door, putting some points on the board. It's time for Mexico City to show something on defense.
Over a 3-minute drive to start the game. 4 runs and 3 passes. For this balanced Kings attack, Connor Weston goes in motion, spread outside, defended by Merrick Itera. They'll hand it off opposite way. Sean Sanders lost the ball. It is recovered by Jacksonville at the 5. Dot Williams, the rookie, pounced on it, but the Aztec defense comes alive in the red zone.
Oh my gosh! I thought all the Jacksonville fans breathed a huge sigh of relief on that one. That was almost heart-stopping.
Max Jackson with the forced fumble. Can you believe it, Charles? He is number 1 in the league ever with 19 forced fumbles in his career, with adding that one to his resume. So Max Jackson, just a Hall of Famer, making another terrific play to force a field goal. That's Jordan Bradshaw with the 3 points on a 10-play, 66-yard drive that puts the Kings up 3-0.
Yeah, the Mexico City defense, and much like the game last week that we did with Mexico City, didn't show a lot, in the middle of the field as the offense, drove down the field. But they really lock it in when they get close to the red zone, and they did what they needed to do on that 3rd down. Almost got a turnover.
So we'll get our first look at Jordan Sipe and the Aztec offense on this return. This is Jacob Morrison up to the 23-yard line. Sipe and the offense got a little one-dimensional last week against Louisiana. Charles, we were here. We never left Mexico City in anticipation for this one tonight, and looking forward to seeing what the Guerrillas / Aztecs do offensively tonight.
Well, they've got the skill players to do it. Let's just see if they spread the ball around and kind of mix up the play selection.
Bentley's in the backfield, 2 receivers, the far side right. They'll flip that and put a single one on either side. Jason Bartley goes in motion. Tallahassee's got 7 in the box. Here on 1st down, they'll flip it out right side. Ray Bentley, who had a 40-yard touchdown last week, picks up 8 on his first carry to set up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, more of that, Cam. More feeding the ball to Bentley. Also, when I say feed, also throw it to him, too. I don't believe he has a reception at all this season. That's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, Bentley with a big old goose egg in that receiving category. You're right. Morrison doesn't have one either, so neither back has been thrown to. 2nd down and 2. The handoff goes to Morrison, and Morrison will be cut down by Alex Bond, another terrific player in the SFL for many years. Probably a Hall of Fame candidate coming up soon. His 10th season, 2-time All-Star.
I'm going to go back and clip that part where you said I'm right, because that might be good for motivational, just to keep putting on a loop. You're right. You're right.
I love to give positive encouragement. 3rd and short. Flip outside. Bentley hurdled his own player. That was Richardson, who was trying to set the edge. Ray Bentley's got enough for the 1st down.
There you go. Keep feeding it to the Hall of Famer. I mean, that's what we were looking for last game, and I think they realized the adjustments they needed to make on their offensive playbook, and we're seeing some of that right now.
4 receivers, 3 to the left side. And off to Morrison. Not much there. So Mexico City, kind of like Indianapolis, coming out with a bit of a run focus early. Tigga Clay on the tackle.
I'm always going to say, the key to defense is getting in the face of the quarterback, and we're looking for Jacksonville to get a couple sacks in the book this season. I think they've only got 1 for the team so far.
Sipe throws, dumps it off short. That's the tight end, Bill Henry. He's going to get 5 on the play to set up a 3rd down and 4. This Jacksonville defense led up front by Taquan Hale, who's 1 tackle for loss away from 200 for his career. P. Footer, the 48th pick in the draft. Logan Gardner also up front at defensive tackle. Linebackers John Martin, Dallas Knowles, John Patrick Levine, Tigga Clay. Corners K. Magic, Havo Ramsey, Bernard Gooden, and Roy Towers. Get to the safeties here in a moment as Sipe throws up and against those safeties. Caught by Bartley, wrapped up by Roy Towers, 1st down.
Perfect protection up front for Sipe. Had plenty of time, no pressure at all, and I believe let's see if I think he did he didn't do. I thought he was going to do a comeback route, but he was wide open. I was kind of shocked that he was that wide open because normally when you do a comeback route like that, you get that type of separation, but looks like maybe the defender was late to get to coverage.
Roy Towers backing off a little bit. He seemed to be on a bit of an island out there. Made sure he didn't give up the touchdown. Safeties, Young Vaught, Justin Andaluz, Alex Bond, and Dylan Bamsler out there for the Kings as Sipe's pass is incomplete. Boy, the contact looked like it may have been a little early. Noe Terrasis was the intended target.
And not a great pass, but Jacksonville sent a couple people in to disrupt the pass play for Sipe, and he had to get rid of it early.
Mexico City is in their Santa Fe Gorilla throwbacks tonight. Orange helmets, blue jerseys, orange pants with the white numbers, orange trim. Sipe straight back and nearly threw an interception. That was right in the hands of John Patrick Levine. That ball had some heat on it, 3rd and 10.
It did, yeah, no loft at all. It was just straight on a laser, and that's kind of dangerous. The linebacker was hanging out there and could have got both mitts on there, and we would have been looking at an interception.
Mike Daggs in the chat, refs letting them play tonight. Actually letting them play much of this week. Haven't had a lot of penalties around the league this week. Penalties are down, even though we haven't done anything, so the refs
went ahead and said it, didn't you?
Refs swallowing the whistles as Sipe goes down, and it's incomplete. Yeah, I'm trying to meet my quota. The officials told me they had to throw a few tonight, so I thought I'd give the old broadcast curse. Jacksonville gets the stop, 4th down.
Yeah, threw into double coverage. Hats off to the Jacksonville defense for the great downfield coverage. There wasn't anybody for him to throw to.
So Mexico City's first offensive drive of the night stalls out into a punt. Jacksonville came after this one, and that punt is very high in the air and will be fielded about the 23-yard line. So that is not what the Aztecs were looking for at the end of that drive.
Yeah, let's see if we get more of the same from Jacksonville. That last drive was pretty efficient up until the getting close to that goal line. Let's see if they've made some adjustments and maybe can put 7 on the board on this drive.
5 passes, 4 runs for Mexico City on their opening drive. 5 runs, 3 passes for Jacksonville on their opening drive. And the handoff goes to Vicarian. Vicarian's going to scoop up 2.5 to set up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I like the way Jacksonville's mixing up their formations and their play calling as well. A mix of run and pass. I think that's perfect. The Mexico City defense has historically been very aggressive, and got to keep them on their toes.
4 wide, 2 to either side. Bruin flips it out, and Vicarian almost caught from behind. Stellar effort by Evan Miller to slow him down. Jackson cleans it up, 3rd down.
Yeah, luckily Jackson was there to clean it up because the running back started off with nothing and was able to get a couple extra yards. I was looking at a big run after he got past that first touch.
3 receivers, 2 to the left side, and that's Dot Williams at fullback. He goes in motion. Bruin back to pass, trying to set up a screen. Actually goes deep down the field, and Itera knocks it away. Bruin, I was surprised. I thought he was going to dump it off there, Charles, but he thought he had something down the field. Instead, Mexico City's got a 3-and-out.
Yeah, definitely a good defensive stand there. I thought it was going to be a dump pass too. I'm kind of surprised that they went deep there. They could have had an easy first down. Not necessarily easy, but better odds.
Punt coming from Liam Price, Kings punter in his second season, 6'1", 222. Deep kick all the way to the 26, a booming punt. And they're going to mark Morrison just shy of the 34-yard line, 2:23 to go in the first quarter. Charles, you got any good Matt Wilson stories for us? Any memories?
I just remember he was pretty funny, man. He had some pretty funny observations on the game. That some stuff that you're like, wow, I never even thought of that. You know, just crazy observations and just had you cracking up.
His duck impressions on wobbly throws were always pretty funny.
That's right. Yeah,
all his quacks. he would try and mix it up and tell you it was a goose or an ostrich, and then Mike and Matt would probably argue if an ostrich was a duck, and all sorts of silly things. 1st and 10 at the 34. Bill Henry with the catch, first down. An ostrich is not a duck, just in case anybody out there thinks that I actually think that. First down.
And if you did, I'd have to have you checked and observed, because that's kind of you got out of high school.
I don't know how I did. It was touch and go there for a little while.
Hey, I read what you put on the internet about you growing up. That's an interesting story. Nothing to do with the game, but I thought I'd just throw it out there.
Sipe drops to throw. That's caught by Henry. That's his third catch of the night. They're going to mark him for a first down. He may be just short. And if you're wondering what Charles is referencing, simulationfl.net. It's on the homepage. Look at all the fans decked out in their gorilla gear.
You know what? Bill Henry was pretty active in our game last week with 5 reception. I think he led the team, and they're right now he's got two or three catches so far today. So they know he's a weapon, and they're using him.
3 for 26 for Henry, and one thing we have seen tonight is Jordan Sipe staying in the pocket. That pass is deflected off the kneecap of Levine. So by the time I feel like this first quarter, Charles, has pinned the football on John Patrick Levine. By the time we get to the end of the night, it's going to have touched every part of his body.
And I fear that on those short drops, the longer he stays in that pocket, the wall is going to close in, and he stands at 5'11". Getting over those tall defenders is difficult.
2 backs and 2 receivers. Richardson is the fullback for the Aztecs. Jacksonville brings 5, and that pass a little behind Henry, but he's able to corral it. Good hands there in between the hash marks. Another third down coming up for Mexico City.
Another nice catch by the tight end, but also smart of Sipe to dump it off there. Didn't have any other options, but was able to get some positive yardage, and they're sitting pretty good here on 3rd and 5.
1:03 to go in the first quarter. Jacksonville protecting a 3-0 lead. They bring a safety blitz. That pass is caught after the blitz was picked up. Bartley stepped out of bounds, but not before he got past the 30 for another Aztec first down.
And nice accuracy there by Sipe, who right out there on the edge for perfect setup for Bartley to get some extra yards.
He needed to put that football right where he put it. This offense, Jordan Sipe, Jacob Morrison, Ray Bentley, Buford Van Dam in the backfield. Jason Bartley, Doug Spelling, Noe Terrasis at wide receiver, Bill Henry, Devontae Richardson at tight end. Ova Yonda, Sitlamina Osalodal, and Tatalani Supremo are the men to watch on the offensive line. Van Dam loses 3 as Levine makes the TFL in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a positive gain, but I like the fact that they're mixing it up, and we're seeing some of the adjustments to that offensive game plan from last week.
Maybe the final play of the quarter. Blitz coming, and that pass is hauled in by Henry. Henry got a block down the field inside the 10-yard line before he's wrestled down by Young Vaught out of bounds. 1st and goal, his 5th grab of the quarter.
Perfect way to stand in the pocket there. Sipe stood in there, was getting some heat, got rid of it. I don't know how he got rid of it. Just at the last second to the tight end, and was able to get some extra yards after the catch. Didn't think he was going to get the first down, but was able to take that little juke move to the sideline and open up some space and add a couple more yards.
Taekwon Hale nearly got the sack. It would have been his 200th career TFL. The 13-season veteran, 4-time All-Star, nearly making the play, but not good enough, as Jordan Sipe staying cool, calm, and collected tonight so far. But Jacksonville has a 3-0 lead. You're watching the SFL's Monday Night Spectacular on Matt Wilson nights here on SFL YouTube.
Yeah, Sipe, that last play, I'm still thinking about it. Would look like a sidearm pass under the armpit of Hale.
He dove for it, too, and couldn't get there. First trip in the red zone tonight for the Aztecs. Justin Reside mentioning Matt Wilson talking about turducken. That was also a funny clip. Jordan Sipe in zone into triple coverage. Just a little bit impatient there, and boy, lucky didn't throw the ball away.
Yeah, I didn't see who that was, but it looked like there was another wide receiver that was wide open on the 10-yard line. Could have done cartwheels into the end zone.
Kings up 3-0. Trying to improve to 3-1 on the season, which would make a pretty big statement, especially considering their struggles in the last few years. As Sipe's pass into the end zone is caught. Touchdown, Navante Richardson. And Richardson, on his second catch of the season, hauls in his first touchdown.
That's awesome. He's a big target, too. We saw a little bit of that last week as well. 6'7", 255. He's like a tower running down the field, and easy to see by the quarterback, but also nice route running there. Good drive by Mexico City to answer. Now they're leading 6-3.
Richardson is the third different Aztec player to catch a touchdown pass this season. Helps improve Jordan Sipe's touchdown to interception ratio as well. 9-play, 67-yard drive. Hi, Mom. And speaking of saying hello to moms, I know that Matt Wilson's mother's out there watching tonight, and gives me a chance to personally let her know how much Matt Wilson meant to this league, because you can see his impact here on the field tonight, but it was really his impact in the locker room for Mexico City all those years, with the broadcast team. Just the presence that he brought, the motivation, Charles, that, he could do it with just a little small screen in front of him. He didn't have 4 monitors like, me and you. I mean, he had to do this on a tiny screen with limited mobility, and still did it just as good as anybody out there, and one of the best to ever do it here for sure. Handoff. Vakarian picks up 6.
And to add to what you said, one of the things that impressed me, obviously he was an outstanding broadcaster, like you said, to make the most of what had to deal with. But I love the rapport between him and Mike Daggs. It was just amazing. They were great friends growing up, but you could tell on the broadcast.
Anthony Jones in the chat. Why no hi, Dad? Well, I guess it could have been waving hi to his dad. It was a transitional thing. I knew that Matt's mom was here, so yeah, it's a little broadcasting trick. Coach Gooden calling signals here on third down.
All right, Mexico City is they've done pretty well on the last couple third downs. Let's see if they can throw a wrinkle at Jacksonville.
In fact, to your point, Charles, 0 for 2 are the Kings on third down tonight. 9 minutes to go in the first half. Bruin trying to convert one, goes back to Dot Williams, and he's not going to get it. That is the second time we've seen Williams almost take a pitch outside, and the Aztecs were all over it. The Kings will have to punt.
Yeah, you've got a defense playing in a hard coverage, and that could spell disaster for that play. I hope they adjust that and not run it again, because that's a dangerous pass play.
Don Williams better have the sure hands, too, because if he drops that, it's going to be a fumble. Morrison picks it up. Christian Barreto in the chat giving us some Spanish tonight. I know that y'all would y'all think you'd want to hear me say that stuff in Spanish, but then I'd do it, and then you'd be like, no, you can save that for somebody else.
Took 3 years of Spanish, and I still can't speak it.
Same.
And I had a roommate that spoke Spanish. Then it makes me look like I guess worse than you did on the ostrich comment.
Ray Bentley on the carry. Our stats are killing us. There we go. 98 yards for the Aztecs tonight, 77 for Jacksonville. Pretty even game so far. Both teams over 4 yards of play. Handoff goes to Morrison. We'll get a couple more.
And both quarterbacks are playing pretty solid so far. I'm waiting for, a big breakout play here from one of these teams.
This secondary this season for Jacksonville, just 2 interceptions. You mentioned they only had 1 sack. They are 10th in pass deflections. Of course, they've only played 3 games. A lot of teams in the league have played 4 or now 5. That pass from Sipe is incomplete, so Jacksonville's defense is really starting to stand tall. Richardson was the intended receiver. Mexico City featuring their tight ends a little bit more heavily tonight, but we'll have to punt it regardless.
Yeah, just threw it a little bit high for, I think that was intended for Bill Henry. It's a little bit too high for the 6'4" tight end.
That's tough to do. You're overthrowing Richardson. It's an overthrow. Room to run on the return. Out past the 30, all the way to the 36-yard line. That's Joe Beasley on the return. Made the All-Star team last year for returning.
Again, this wide receiver core for Jacksonville, they've got some speed, and waiting for a long, deep route for either Weston or Ellington.
Chris Delro in the chat. Matt was before my time in the league, but he clearly was a legend, and his legacy will live on forever. The respect the league is showing makes me proud to be a part of the SFL, and that's why we do these things like this, Chris, because that's why I wrote the article about how I grew up and how the league started, because there's so many people that have joined over the years. Charles, I know for you and I mean, people wouldn't even realize that we used to call games a few years ago together consistently like this. And so it's always good to recognize our history and never forget it.
Definitely. And it was long ago. You and I did games.
So pre-COVID and everything.
Yep.
Williams in motion, 2nd and 9. 7:05 to go in the first half. Draw to Vakarian, and Vakarian with a full head of steam. Not often you see Dexter Jackson getting thrown backwards. Vakarian, man, he is big back there for the Kings. 3rd and 6.
He's big. He's strong. He breaks tackles, and he's consistent as well. I mean, he's a nightmare for anyone, especially in the fourth quarter. I think that's when he excels.
Oh, Bruins sacked. Evan Miller from behind. Never saw it coming. It looked like they were trying to set up some kind of screen again. Mexico City all over that. First sack of the night.
Definitely, and also the first sack for Evan Miller. That's one of his specialties. He's got second ranked in the pass rush rating in the league, and I'm surprised he hasn't had any sacks yet. But maybe this is going to open up the something big for Miller.
Just got that one. 4th of the season for Mexico City. They were 18th coming into the game in sacks, so Jacksonville will have to punt. This has turned into another defensive slugfest. All week long, Charles, defense has been keeping teams out of the end zone. Not a single team has scored over 30 in 8 games. Earlier tonight, Indianapolis blanked Arizona 20-0.
That's crazy. that is crazy. I never would have guessed that score. I mean, hats off to Indianapolis, but wow, going up against a tough team.
Indy improves to 2-3. Arizona now down to 3-2, and in their 2 losses, they've scored a combined 0 points. Buford Van Dam on the carry will get 4, and that's much better than his 3-yard loss he got in his first touch.
Yeah, I don't think Buford Van Dam missed any meals in his life. He is a big man.
Got a lot of size on the field tonight.
Wow.
These are some 2 big teams 2nd and 6. Still haven't introduced the Aztec defense to you. We'll get that on the next series. Bentley takes the handoff, but he's cut down pretty quick. That's young Vaught, who's all over the field. These two teams are a combined 3 and 9 on 3rd down. We got another one here.
Yeah, young Vaught, that's one of what he excels at, run coverage. I mean, he's he's all over the place, and he knows what his role is on Jacksonville, and he's performing it to a T.
Henry goes in motion. 111 total yards now for Mexico City. They need the 37-yard line. Sipe back to throw. Sipe, clean pocket. Jordan Sipe deep down the field, and it's off the hands of Bill Henry. Got hit just after he tried to catch that ball, but couldn't keep the hands on it, as Sipe gets some encouragement from a teammate as they'll walk off the field again with nothing.
Yeah, another 3rd down stand by the defense. I'm waiting for one of these teams to break out with something deep, something exciting. Both of the defenses looks like just kind of feeling each other out on the field.
6 punts rather, on 8 drives. The other 2 drives scored. No turnovers tonight. No field goal, or no missed field goals rather, as Beasley gets the ball up to the 27-yard line. But not only have we had 4 straight punts, Charles, 4 straight 3-and-outs as well.
Yeah. And, O.J. Bruin, coming out right now for Jacksonville, he's had a pretty decent night so far when he drops back to pass. I think we need to see a little bit more of that.
3 of 4 tonight, all the passes to Weston. Weston has 26 of the 46 catches this season, but Kingston Ellington came alive last week. He's up over 100 for the season as well. That's a one-handed catch by Jim Copeland Jr. on his first target. And that is your nice hands catch of the game, presented by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only game with your player in it, SFL 4K23.
I mean, that's a poster shot for that 6'7" tight end.
Copeland goes for 12. Bruin taking off to run. Couldn't get away. Dan Tritz brings him down. Not sure if they'll count that as an official sack or not, but it was close.
That's amazing. He's running like he's a running back there, lowering his head, getting behind the lineman, trying to get those extra yards. You don't see many quarterbacks do that.
By the way, good on Jim Copeland for putting 12 in the front and center on the stat sheet. Bruin steps back and nearly threw an interception. Wow. I don't even think he saw John Osiris standing there. Second pass deflection for the Aztecs tonight.
Yeah, you're right, Cam. Osiris was just standing there reading a book, waiting for the ball. He dodged a bullet there. O.J. Bruin. Let's see if he, what he can do on this. Maybe look for something a little bit deeper downfield.
3rd down and 10. Jacksonville still 0 for tonight on 3rd down. Bruin has to rush out of the pocket. What a throw! Joe Beasley to the Mexico City 45-yard line, and that is what makes O.J. Bruin so impressive.
Yeah, what's impressive, I think we were talking about this before the game, is the way he can throw on the run. I mean, that's a perfect pass where only Beasley can catch it, and a great route run by Beasley as well. Good separation off the line.
There's not many quarterbacks that can make that throw. Bruin now 5 for 7, 66 yards. He's hit 3 different receivers after Weston featured heavily. Copeland Jr. and Beasley with catches on this drive. Now again, Evan Miller with sack number 2. You called it, Charles. He's heating up.
Yeah, he's heating up, and that spells bad news for Jacksonville. They're going to have to, get that, they don't have a contract fullback, but they need to get Gerald Soule out there to start blocking that man.
Well, and the key is that Jacksonville does not have a contracted right tackle nor a right guard. So Evan Miller on that side of the line is really exposing Jacksonville up front. 2nd down and 15. Bruin back to pass. He'll fire down the field. Caught by Ellington. His first catch to the 26. Bruins now hit 3 different receivers on this drive.
Great way to stand in the pocket. Bruin, I thought he was going to go down with a sack. They were bringing some pressure around the edges, But man, great pass to to Ellington. I had no thought of him being able to get that pass out of his hands.
Down to 3 minutes to go in the first half. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk recap our first half. Recap the game one of our doubleheader as Indy took it to Arizona. We'll have Matt Wilson's throw it back to his Hall of Fame speech in 2018. That pass is hauled in for a 4-yard gain for Copeland Jr. And Curtis and Tyler will share their memories and thoughts on the best, number 12 in SFL history. That and more on the 12th best APM Music Halftime Report of all time. Don't know how many we've had, but
what they're wearing.
Charles wants to see what they're wearing, and I just hope it's better than the 12th best that they got. Hand off a carry-in, and he'll push forward for half of what they need. So 3rd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, smart play call in there. They didn't get the first down, but got to mix it up. I'm expecting to pass on this one, and they may even try in the end zone.
Vakarian 9 for 41. Dot Williams was a big 3rd and short guy in their last game, but only a single back in the backfield right now. They'll hand off on a little draw, and it's stuffed. Wrapped up almost immediately by Maurice Lloyd. Her 4th tackle will force a 4th down as we hit the 2-minute warning. 7-3. Aztecs on top. Kings on the move, trying to put more points on the board. You're watching the Matt Wilson Monday Night Spectacular on SFL YouTube.
That was a gutsy call doing that draw play. I mean, they were passing it pretty effectively and decided to put some faith on their offensive line, but Mexico City wasn't having any of that.
Jordan Bradshaw on to attempt the kick. He's 7 of 8 this season. Make that 8 for 9. That kick is good. 10-play, 52-yard drive, and we've got a 7-6 ball game with a minute and change left.
Yeah, both of these defenses are showing us something as the offensive teams get closer into the end zone in that red zone area. They become totally different units out there on the field, and keeping them out of the end zone with the exception of that one score by Mexico City.
Kick is away from the goal line on the return. That's Jeffrey Daggs, who was the hero the last time Mexico City played Jacksonville at the Las Vegas 2021 convention. Returned the kickoff to start overtime that helped the Aztecs get a 40-34 overtime win. There you see Jordan Sipe, one of his last 4, but that one went for the game-leading touchdown.
Yeah, if you see Daggs lining up on special teams, always kick it away from him. Do not give that man the ball.
Hand off to Buford Van Dam as the Aztecs will try and see what they can get out of this drive. He gets 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, every time he gets the ball, it's Van Dam, he's big.
We'll have to use that later. 1:26 to go. Mexico City not wanting to give Jacksonville another chance at the ball to start this half. Trying to feel out what they're going to do with this drive, and so far, not much because Ray Bentley's dropped for a loss.
Yeah, Levine was waiting for him right through the blocking scheme, was able to bring him down in the backfield.
Crept Toe, that's a new username. Jacksonville, he says. Yes, sir, Jacksonville Kings. We're in their Season 5 throwbacks here tonight. That was when they joined the league. We are now in Season 22. 3rd and 6. Sipe to throw. Sipe down the field. Caught by Bartley. 1st and 10 and a timeout, Aztecs.
Jacksonville was using a 4-man rush, running a fan route, trying to get around the tackles, but the offensive line for Mexico City did perfect blocking scheme, executed it perfectly, giving Sipe plenty of time to read the field and throw it a perfect strike to the wide receiver.
Jordan Sipe brings up a good point in the chat. We'll get to it momentarily. As his pass down the field into double coverage is incomplete, looking for Bartley. This is the first time that Sipe has played his former team. Sipe was the quarterback for the Jacksonville Kings in that loss to Jeffrey Daggs and these Aztecs, and now he's here playing for the Aztecs. So a little bit of a a little bit of a revenge game for Sipe as well against his old team tonight.
I completely, you know what? I completely forgot he used to play for Jacksonville.
Well, it got lost in the shuffle with Matt Wilson
Wow.
and all the history behind these two teams. 17th meeting all time. That pass caught by Henry down to the King 40-yard line, and so Mexico City will use their second timeout. They have one left, plenty of time, making good work of this clock.
Cam, it's also a good note for the next broadcast meeting when Mike Daggs is talking about the research sheet.
Yeah. He'll probably say something to us. I've never heard him criticize himself in a minute. Just kidding. At the 38-yard line, Ray Bentley goes in motion, empty backfield. So Sipe's going to pass. Tigger Clay calling out some defensive signals for the Kings. And that pass is caught by Henry to the 24-yard line. Aztecs have used all their timeouts. 35 seconds left. They're going to have to be careful now as they are nearly in the red zone.
I tell you what, man, Bill Henry is money on those short and medium pass routes.
7 catches, 80 yards for Henry, and Sipe is shaken out of his mini funk and has 51 passing yards on this drive in his last 3 passes. 3-by-1 here, another empty backfield. Jacksonville brings 4. That pass is caught by Bartley down to the 13-yard line. Now the Aztecs have to hurry.
Great play call in there. Great route run as well.
25 seconds left. Sipe to throw against a blitz. That pass is caught. Touchdown, Mexico City. It's the other tight end, Bill Henry. 2 tight end touchdowns tonight in Estadio
awesome.
Matt Wilson.
I tell you what, he was the guy you had to go to. I mean, he, like I said earlier, he's been running outstanding routes and catching everything thrown his way. Give that man the ball, get him a touchdown, get him in the on the highlights.
A perfectly executed 2-minute offense there by Mexico City. They leave no timeouts on the board, just 22 seconds for the Kings. And Jordan Sipe, who had 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games, has 2 in the first half. And Mexico City has built a 14-6 lead, an 8-play, 76-yard drive that took just 94 seconds.
You have to keep talking about how great the defense has been playing in the SFL. We'll get the score up because the game actually does opposite of what you and I talk about.
Well, that's kind of why I mentioned it. Then people can't say, well, nobody's scoring anymore. Well, did you see the Mexico City Tallahassee? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going for. Tallahassee, Jacksonville, you know what I mean. Joe Beasley on the return, past the 25, up to the 31-yard line, 16 seconds left. By the way, for Bill Henry, that is he is nearing his 3rd 100-yard game in the 4K23 era, but that's just his 2nd touchdown in the era. His first touchdown since August 20th of last year.
I think they found something in him, and he'll be getting many more.
16 seconds. We'll just flip it out to Vicari and see what he can do in open space. He's going to be dragged down by Max Jackson, I believe, and that is going to take us to the end of the first half. An exciting first half. Kings move the ball pretty well. 95 passing yards for Jacksonville, 49 rushing yards for 131 total, but Mexico City was just a little bit better. 14-6. Your thoughts on the first half, Charles?
Yeah, I mean, Mexico City just they found something. They opened it up on offense, found how deadly their tight end, both tight ends, Henry and Richardson, got Bentley a little bit involved in the game early on, but their defense on the other side is doing really, really well. I'm scared. I'd be scared if I was the Jacksonville offensive coordinator. Evan Miller, I think, has found his mojo. He's got 2 sacks so far in the first half. They got to figure out a way to keep him out of the face of the quarterback.
Sipe already 21 passes tonight, but the difference has been where he's passed the football and with accuracy that he's passed the football, because he's already got 13 completions, 8 of those to that big man right there. Thanks to Ron Haynes and Frank Gooden for doing a stellar job in our stats truck all night tonight. Henry is your player of the half. 14-6. Mexico City leads Jacksonville at the half. We go to our SFL studios for the APM Music halftime report. Take it away, fellas.
And with that, a 14-6 game at Estadia Matt Wilson for the nightcap of the Monday Night Spectacular doubleheader in honor of Matt Wilson on this February 12th. I'm Chris Curtis along with Tyler Falk. And Tyler, touchdowns versus field goals and tight end play from Jordan Sipe to his comrades on the Mexico City side. That's the difference right now.
Well, if you're Mike Daggs, you are very happy, especially when you preach hashtag throw it to the tight end day in and day out. I mean, what better way than to get not just Henry involved late, but Richardson involved early. It's been a fantastic game plan for start to finish for Mexico City. And just there at the end, when Mexico City, or I should say Santa Fe at this point, just needed a good drive at the end of the ball game. They caught Jacksonville tired. And slow. And so when they sent everybody on a go route, when they sent Bill Henry on the go route, Jacksonville / Tallahassee just couldn't cope. They couldn't cope with the speed, and that's why we see a loaded one-score game. Loaded means just an extra point. You get 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, a bit of nostalgia going back, seeing these uniforms on, and from the Tallahassee side brings you back to a day where Christian Christensen was the quarterback, Ken Gossett, wide receiver over there, just, a couple of names from Tallahassee / Jacksonville gone by, and then on the other side, Santa Fe, in this case, Mexico City. It brings you back to some of the greats that they've had in their uniforms. Not even just Santa Fe, but I'm talking about obviously Matt Wilson, who the night is named after. But you got to talk a little bit about Richard Montague. You got to talk a little bit about Cale Barrett, who was there as well. So just a couple of names on that side that you certainly remember from Mexico City's season 9 championship run, as well as obviously Matt Wilson, who was there for a millennia, it seemed. But going into the first part, let's go a little bit back in time, talk about the first game in our doubleheader tonight. That was the Scorpions of Arizona traveling to Indianapolis, Central Division Showdown, and Arizona got physically beat up. I'm not sure how much you saw of that game, but a 20-0 score, and the storyline really didn't loan that score to it. It was probably more lopsided than that.
Well, I had to watch the game. My team was playing it. So I was very happy to see our defense really contain the very dangerous Arizona attack and contain them for the first ever shutout in Indianapolis Rambler history, which by far is a fantastic achievement for the Ramblers, and it shows the tweaks and the changes that Indy was able to make, and that they were able to say, you know what, we haven't run the football right. We are going to run the football whether we like it or not. Show you how we can run the football. And yes, Fridge got injured at the end, that being Christian Pierce getting injured at the end of the game. But he ended the day with right around 90 yards on the ground. Joe Harleman picks up a nearly 20 yards. Tino Sosa comes in relief every so often, nearly 60 yards. And just said, can't do it. Can't stop us. We're just going to keep doing it. And so Colin Pierce comes inside his list. I only have to throw 8 times. I'll just complete all 8 passes and get a touchdown to boot. Just a phenomenal game plan for Indianapolis. And this is not to say that Arizona was a terrible game or a trap game, which ended up actually being more of a trap game. But it just goes to show you, when you can catch a really good coach off guard, that's the game right there. It's this cat and mouse game you play each and every week, and this night was Indianapolis.
The game within the game, essentially. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Yeah, 20-0, but the score line. I mean, it's not like Arizona looked entirely bad on defense. Their offense just couldn't get anything going. Ashley Jackson did not look comfortable at any point during the night. The defense played very well for Indianapolis. And don't forget Devin Lloyd. I'm going to give him a little bit of a shout out. He was that other running back, wide receiver / running back in that tandem, especially when Christian went down. That made a difference for the Indianapolis running game. But Indianapolis wins. They go to 2-3, and Arizona goes to 3-2. Both of them heading into the bye week next week. Moving ahead, let's go back to the reason that we are here for a doubleheader on Dia de Matt Wilson, the day of Matt Wilson. And that is, well, Matt Wilson. For those that don't know, we lost him a couple of years ago, back in season 20. No, season 20. Yeah, it was season 20. I'm pretty sure. We lost him just before the day of. Actually, it was the day of a Mexico City game, and so that obviously was pushed back as we. He had been in the hospital for a few days before that. And Mike Daggs had been on his side, and just the positive things that Matt Wilson has brought to this league. One of them obviously being Mike Daggs. Matt brought him in, basically the story of the way Mike tells it. I wish he was here to tell it. But him basically going to Matt's house, and Matt had a whole bunch of boxes with audio equipment, studio equipment, ready for Mike Daggs to take back to his house. Said, "Hey, you're going to do this broadcasting thing with me for the SFL." And Mike's like, "What?" So he took a bunch of audio equipment, and Mike and Matt just started doing games, and then Mike was also all of a sudden the broadcast director, and the rest is history. But just one of the many things. He was a great broadcaster. He Cam said it right. He worked with such a small screen and limited resources that it was hard to believe he did as good a job as he did, but it was great. So a well-deserved nod into the SFL Hall of Fame in 2018. I want to play for you now the speech from that in Texas.
Glad to be here, although quite a bit nervous because I haven't done any kind of public speaking in 20 years. So, just glad to be here. I'd like to thank a lot of people. My family, my friends, the SFL staff, the owners who voted me in, and the rest of the SFL community. It means a whole bunch to be a part of this inaugural class. It really does. And, you know, I have to thank the two people that, well, one person I thought Cam was going to do it, but I'll just thank Mike. Thank you, Mike, for being such a great friend for, God, 25 years? That's longer than some of these people have been alive. Hey, Jack. So, that's crazy. Kind of funny story involving Cam. My own personal genesis came from the season 6 rookie draft. First ever draft. SFL history. And as Mike and I both know, those drafts can take a long time. Yeah. We almost died, but we're fine. We're alive. And so, you know, I contacted Ramos. I'm like, I want to play for your team. And he goes, okay. We're not going to take you with the first pick. We're not going to take you with our second pick. We're going to take you with the very last pick in the draft. Okay. So in a way, I'm the league's very own Tom Brady. And that really hurts because I'm a Bills fan. So anyways, the draft's going on. Player names are coming up. Cam's just doing a great job announcing. And then my time comes. I've waited so long. He announces my name. It pops up on the screen, and my last name's spelled wrong. What a great introduction to the league. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Wilson with 1 L. Still confound some people today. But, you know, it must have been an omen of sorts because we only won 3 freaking games that year. I'm replacing a guy that went to the championship. Oh, boy. This isn't going well. Well, we improved. We made it to the playoffs each year after that, but we'd always fall short. Pardon me. So, I was talking to Ramos, end of season 8, off season. I said, you know, I got some ideas of how we can improve the team, tighten the salary cap a little bit, just do things here and there that just I think would help the team. The response was, Matt, you want total control over the roster? Wasn't even an owner yet. Went, hell yeah, I want total control over the roster, sure. First thing I did, or one of the first things, was I gave myself a pay cut. How about that? Because as a player, as a good player, your team is more important than yourself. Unfortunately, that means I had to sell my Bentley and get a Toyota. But I gave that money to another Bentley, Mr. Ray Bentley. And I remember the pundits, they're like, Ramos is a really good running back this year. Does he even know how to run? Because all we did was pass. Is he a decoy? I think this is a horrible idea. Oh, well, he only won MVP, guys. Guess you were wrong on that one. Yeah, a little shade there. I don't know if it was you, Max. I don't know who it was. Maybe Steve. I think it was Stephen Mullins. Hi, Stephen. Thanks for that. He's right 80% of the time. So anyways, the team looks great. I don't have the best stats. I don't care. We're winning. We win our conference. We get to the championship. And we crush Chicago. Just crush them into oblivion. As far as I remember, at least. And it was great. Time's running down in that game. And I just have so many positive emotions, you know. Lots of relief. I don't know. I just can't explain them all. But it was more actually for Ramos because, you know, I saw the heartbreak. He was one Montero tackle away in Season 5 from winning it all. And that haunted him for so long. I felt really bad about it. I really did. And I wanted to bring that championship to him. So I put the roster together for the most part, and we did it. And I was just so happy for him because you got to understand that Ramos, you know, I defy the odds. Sometimes he defies the odds. You got everybody with all these coordinators, scouts, head coaches, hundreds of Xboxes. That season and probably seasons in the past, he had to share one Xbox and one TV in his apartment, doing all those adjustments. I mean, that's incredible. You know, I believe he should be here with me, but he's not. But I believe he one day will be. But until that day comes, I share this honor with him because he really deserves it. And just in closing, because I've talked more than I thought I would, sorry about that. Mike's right, I do have a lot of challenges in my life and a lot of ups and downs, but this league brings me a constant source of positivity that you can't imagine. And so, you know, the days that maybe I don't want to get up in the morning or just I don't feel well, I think of the league and it really lifts me up, and for that I'll always be grateful. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Well then, yeah, 1-2 exactly, Tyler. You hit it right on the head. He is. There are very few as deserving or more deserving of the honor that he was given that night, being in the inaugural class of the SFL Hall of Fame at the league's first convention. One of the things, Tyler, that set Matt apart from everybody we interact with on a real day-to-day basis is just his ability to, regardless of whatever was going on in his life and how it was affecting him, his ability to choose happy, in his words, and completely just turn his mood around and live life to the absolute fullest every single time. He's an inspiration for a lot of people. He's inspired me in a lot of cases. Do you have any lingering memories? I know he may have been before your time as well, but it's no shortage of impact he's had in this league.
No, absolutely. I was able to spend a couple years here in the SFL and the same team and just know Matt and talk to Matt on occasion, and just the most down-to-earth guy. True leader, just confined to a wheelchair. For those that this is for a lot of people in the SFL now. This is probably the first time they've ever seen Matt Wilson as far as seeing what he had to deal with on a daily basis, all his burdens, his physical limitations, but it didn't hold him back. And so there really isn't one specific moment that I can point out, because they're all just poignant and they're so impactful. Just hearing him call, seeing and hearing him give his Hall of Fame speech, and him being selfless enough to say, this is not just my honor, this is Ramos's honor, shows you the caliber of a man that Matt Wilson was. The testament he leaves behind to broadcasters, to players, to coaches, to owners in this league shall never be understated nor forgotten. That is Matt Wilson.
He was a special human being, no doubt about that, and hopefully he inspires generations of other special human beings. And that just it gives a kind of credence to the league, and it really, like, the SFL as a whole. And not to bring it back on the league very much, as I think it's not that I'm trying to do, but to show the kind of people that we have in this league, and the fact that it gives a chance for people like Matt Wilson to make a personal impact, as he did, on so many lives, not just on the field, but in chats, in Discord calls. He was a part of the broadcast team. I called more than a few games with him, and it was a pleasure doing so. But the amount of inspiration he gave to everybody he interacted with was just second to none. So it is an absolute honor to be up here in the halftime of the throwback game, celebrating his legacy with the SFL and his legacy in life. It's been an honor to do so, and I appreciate that. So that said, we have we'll get the emotions off to the side for the moment. We're going to remember 12 and all the other numbers that we've memorable numbers that we've lost in the SFL. No doubt about that. But we've got more football to attend to tonight. The Jacksonville Kings in the Tallahassee Pride Throwbacks are down. It is a 14-6 ball game against the Mexico City Aztecs in the Santa Fe Gorilla uniforms. We will have Matt Wilson. We'll have Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty on the call after this. Thank you very much, and we will see you in next week. Thank you very much.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you guys, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk, or Matt Wilson, or whoever, on the call for halftime. Ball's up to the 25 to Morrison. Charles, what do you think
Cam,
about
if you're going to be called somebody, if you want to be called somebody, that's the guy you want to be called.
That's right.
What a great halftime! That speech was outstanding, man. I mean, geez, you can't listen to that and not tear up.
I had forgotten, Charles, in a 6.5-minute speech, how much he mentioned his co-owner, Ramos Lynn. I mean, this is his moment in the sun, and all he wants to do is talk about the sacrifices that other people have made. It's really extraordinary. Sipe will start off with a pitch to Ray Bentley, and Bentley will break off a couple tackles and pick up 3 yards. You know, after something like that, Charles, the games we play feel so insignificant, don't they?
Yeah, they do, but it just focuses on what great league this is, and it's the people that make it great. The great relationships built, from this online league. I'm amazed at how many friends I've made.
No doubt about that. Morrison takes the pitch and is actually going to go back the original line of scrimmage. Dallas Knowles, the 23rd pick in the draft, makes that stop to force a 3rd and long to start.
On a serious note, though, Curtis and Falk, they always look so fresh on camera. Does the SFL give them some sort of stipend to pay for it themselves, because they're really killing it, just from a look standpoint?
Can you believe that's all free? That's just all natural? It's incredible.
I mean, I heard rumors of an SFL broadcast crew 2024 calendar. I didn't believe it, but now I'm starting to believe.
What month are you going to be in, Charles?
Month 13.
A pass looking for spellings incomplete. He's been targeted twice with no catches. That's the same story for Noe Terrasis as well. The wide receivers outside of Jason Bartley have not found a lot of separation against this Kings defense, and Jacksonville's D down 8 starts with a 3-and-out here in the second half as Beasley will get it up to the 34. You know, we haven't really mentioned tonight, Charles, that this is it's a pretty difficult game for Jacksonville to try and come in and win. I mean, they're 2-1, but there is no greater task than taking on a Mexico City team on Matt Wilson night. So far, they've managed the pressure okay. We'll see what they do in the second half.
And it's pretty clear what kind of adjustments they need to make. They got to stop that tight end from Mexico City, both tight ends, and continue to pass as well as they had in the first half.
Toss out to Shepard Vakarian, and Vakarian is nearly going to pick up a first down before he's ushered out of bounds by Maurice Lloyd. Hey, this full defense is up front. Evan Miller, Skylar Kingsley, Dan Tritz, and A.K. Jones. The linebackers, Dexter Jackson, John Osiris, and Maurice Lloyd. Corners, Gerard Brody, Liam Ryan, Merrick Itera, and the safeties, Hall of Famer Jeffrey Daggs and Max Jackson, along with Ben Charbs. It's always good to mention everybody at least once in a game, Charles, because there's so many players around here these days that sometimes that's their nod for the night. Second and short. They leave the empty wide open. They were coming for that toss play. Sean Sanders loses 3. They were leaving the middle wide open, and for good reason. Jacksonville showed no interest.
And that's another play we see Osiris. He's a very smart linebacker there. Knew where to be, knew where to shut that play down.
3rd down and 4. Bruin to throw. Bruin hit as he threw. The pass is ruled a fumble. It's scooped up, and Maurice Lloyd returns it all the way for a touchdown. Review pending. Lloyd may have a defensive score.
And guess who hit him? Evan Miller. I mean, he opened up the can of you-know-what in that first half, and he's still sipping from it. Look at that. Yeah, I think that was a backwards pass there. That's a fumble.
It would be Maurice Lloyd's first career defensive touchdown if the play stands.
I was going to mention something about Maurice Lloyd. She had 11 tackles last week, and it seemed like every play we were talking about her. I know she's got 5 tackles tonight, but I thought she's been pretty quiet. But man, she started out with an explosion here in the second half.
And it stands. You called it, Charles. Backwards pass, not intentional, obviously, as Evan Miller crushes Bruin from behind, and just like that, all the momentum that Jacksonville had built flies out the window. They're down by 15.
They gotta stop Miller, man. He is turning into an animal on that line.
14 unanswered. I guess you give Miller credit for the forced fumble there, as Ellington on the return gets past the 25 to the 30 to the 34-yard line, and now more pressure falls on Bruin. Vakarian in the ground game, 11 carries, 54 yards. Great night. Sean Sanders, 5 carries, -1 yards.
That's crazy. They need to. I mean, we mentioned the speed of the wide receivers for Jacksonville. The offense needs to, send Ellington deep on a decoy and have Weston run, short to medium routes or vice versa. They got to do something to get the ball in their star wide receivers' hands so they can make something of it.
Ron Haynes, Frank Gooden in our stats truck. I know that Haynes was probably itching to get a screen grab of that, but he has bigger fish to fry tonight, as that pass is hauled in by Dot Williams, as Williams will pick up a couple on the play.
God, that was a wise play. They've got to do something to slow that defense down in Mexico City and keep them guessing.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Just a stunning play. What a way to get your first defensive touchdown of your career on a fumble recovery return for a score. Nice. on Matt Wilson night. Connor Weston with the catch, first down, his first catch since the opening drive.
Yeah, and that was big. They needed that. And sorry to talk over you. I was getting so pumped up on that play. Thought he was going to get sacked.
I'd rather people have more passion than less, right, Charles? If you were just a
I
doorknob.
remember you said that when you do my after game review.
If you were just sitting around mumbling and fumbling and not saying anything productive, no one would want to listen
Charles,
to what
if you
have to
talk
say.
over me again.
That's Dags. You're thinking of Dags. I'm not like that.
You remember what happened last time.
Jeffrey Dags hits Vakarian, no gain.
They got to get something on. They got to get some points on the board here to respond.
2nd and 10. Into Mexico City territory. Watch Miller at the top of the screen. They blitz from that side. They pass to that side. Vakarian picks up 7. Good call, Charles.
Very smart play.
They threw right into it.
Very smart play. Yeah, they need. I mean, aggressive line like that. The thing that slows them down is when they have to think about those swing passes. And
3rd and 4. Got to slow that pass rush. Bruin to pass. Bruin looks over the middle,
Nice.
Caught by Beasley, and the offensive line did a stellar job on that play to give Bruin time, his 11th completion of the night.
yeah, keeping that pocket open and pushing those defensive ends out and past the quarterback, giving the quarterback time to dump it off short on that short pass. I think that's the key, Cam. Those short and medium routes are going to be key for the offense of Jacksonville tonight.
Bruin 8 of his last 10 and 4 of his last 5, 6 yards or less. Handoff, Vakarian running left, breaks a tackle from Itera, gets a block, and Vakarian near a first down, but Dexter Jackson stuck him like a Post-it note.
Yeah, but that was a great run. I mean, that was something to build up some confidence for this offense of Jacksonville, and he just shows his strength, shows his ability to break tackle, and wow, we're looking at 2nd and short.
Yeah, Jacksonville wants the first down potentially. Dot Williams throwing blocks. There is no team out there, Charles, that I think has gotten more out of their rookies this season than Jacksonville. I mean, Dot Williams, Havo Ramsey at corner has been excellent. Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Question is, did he get the first?
That was close. And to add to what you said about Dot Williams, I mean, he's a rookie, but he's one of the best pass blocking tight ends in the league. I mean, his rating in the game is 3rd best, tied for 3rd in the league.
So Jacksonville wins the challenge, but are they going to give him the first down? It doesn't look like it. So it goes from 2nd and 1 to 2nd and inches, and Coach Gooden is going, for real, guys. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Just give it to us. .5:32 to go in the 3rd. Jacksonville trying to answer a big momentum change with Maurice Lloyd's defensive touchdown. Handoff to Vakarian, got the first down anyway, and that was a whole bunch of pomp and circumstance for nothing.
Yeah, pomp and circumstance, but they had the middle of that line wide open. Mexico City decided to put their lines of 2x2 on the high point on the offensive line, and you could have done somersaults up the middle of in that hole.
5:10 and counting, showing a blitz outside. They back off. Now O.J. Bruin looks the other way and throws a pick. John Osiris standing there again. Bruin can save a touchdown, and he does. Down to the 43-yard line, but Osiris is wearing an invisibility cloak tonight.
That's right. Straight off of Harry Potter. I mean, he's just standing there, and one of the smartest linebackers in the league. He just read that perfectly, read the eyes of the quarterback. Quarterback didn't see him, and right when he got rid of the ball, he saw Osiris standing there with a smile on his face, and man, what a great play. The Mexico City has just got complete control of this game in the second half.
Well, and now it's up to Jacksonville's defense. Back-to-back turnovers here for the Kings. Having a bit of a meltdown here at Estadio Matt Wilson. Their defense needs to come up with a stop. Bruins' first interception of the night. Van Dam bowls ahead, and there's an injured player on the field. Oh, it's it's Tigga Clay. That is he is their signal caller. That is a huge loss for the Kings.
And that is definitely going to hurt. I mean, they need him on the offense. Excuse me, on the linebacker crew.
Wow. So a pickup of 3 for Van Dam. He's up to, or 7 rather. He's up to 6 yards on 3 carries.
Hope he gets back on the field.
Yeah, that would be a huge loss. John Patrick Levine, the other outside linebacker, but they don't have a ton of depth at that position. Noe Terrasas goes in motion, still looking for his first catch. Pitch to Bentley. Bentley breaks off a tackle, and Bentley down the sideline. No Tigga Clay, and Bentley's running away from everybody else. First down.
And Van Dam just laid some hurt. It looked like on Vaught, the free safety. Just knocked him completely down on the ground. Great blocking on the edge there, and great run by Bentley.
Van Dam picked up a key block there as well. Longest run of the night for the Aztecs. Goes for 14. 4:35 to go in the third. Hand off Morrison, and Morrison is clubbed. Not quite sure who made that stop, but it may have been.
I think it was Fredrickson. Came in for Clay.
Yep. Clay's backup.
That's good when you see the guy off the bench come out there and stand up when they need him.
Yeah, Jacksonville right now needs some kind of momentum turner. Jordan Sipe has played one of the best games in an Aztec uniform. 13 of 22, 164, 2 touchdowns. No interceptions, QBR of 112. Pass tipped and off the helmet of Bill Henry, who may have had a chance to get it and instead found an oncoming truck. Third down.
He had Bartley wide open on a slant route. He went in motion to the bottom of the screen, and they stayed in that zone. And he just found a seam to run that slant in. Man, we would have been looking at a first down.
Levine with a deflection, his third. 3rd and 10. Trips to this side. Roll out for Sipe. Haven't seen that a lot tonight, but Bartley snags it, and he's got the first down to the 24-yard line. What a play.
Sipe said in the huddle, I got you, man. I missed you on that last one, Bartley. I'll hook you up on this one, and he did. Wow.
5 for 79 for Bartley. Sipe, who has not rolled out a ton tonight. I got a little nervous, not going to lie, Charles, after we had their game last week. But hits a wide open Bartley again. First down, the drive continues. And Van Dam takes the handoff, and
look at that.
Damn, got blown up. Alex Bond, 5-yard gain.
And damn, what a good run.
Now everybody's going to be doing that. It's just our excuse to be able to swear on a broadcast.
I'm not swearing. What are you talking about?
Depends on who you ask. I think it's fine.
Where your mind goes, Ian.
2nd and 5. Bentley is in trouble, and that was John Patrick Levine who blew up that play. And then John Martin, the inside linebacker, brings him down. Martin's been a little quiet. Aztecs really haven't run up against him too much.
Yeah, you don't run his way. He's one of the best, if not the best, run coverage linebacker that Jacksonville has.
3rd and 5. Blitz picked up. Sipe's pass is a little high. Doug Spelling again.
Oh, he just threw it a little too far on the outside. It looked like Spelling was going in, and Sipe was trying to lead him to the sidelines.
Critical field goal here would make it a 3-score game. Chaz Blackwater has missed 1 field goal in his career. He's 5 for 5 this season. Blackwater's kick is drifting left, but it's good. 24-6. That makes it a 3-score game and gives Mexico City a little breathing room. Jacksonville's got to answer now.
We definitely do. We got to see what the offense of Jacksonville has. I mean, I think they know what they need to do. They've got some great wide receivers, and they just need to, find ways to get them open, be creative. Easy enough to say, hard to do.
Bruins hit 6 different players on 11 completions. And before the last 2 drives, had really put together a nice night. But Mexico City's pinning their ears back. Ellington returned to the 27.
Also, don't forget Jim Copeland at tight end. He's shown that he's got pretty good hands there, showing off with the one-hand catch for the 12 yards in the first half. So, get the ball to him as well.
Jacksonville's got a quick turnaround, Charles. They host San Diego Friday at 8:15, so a short week to prepare for the Mavericks, who are playing some pretty good ball over the last couple of weeks. Mexico City will be back at home against Baltimore Saturday at 9:15 Eastern, so that'll be a critical game. The Vultures, who are 1-3. Oh, Vakarian! Oh, my goodness! First down at the 13-yard line. Somebody call the abuse hotline.
I think that's a new name they should use for a type of steal, Vakarian steal. I mean, right there, he just nails him down like, wow, unbelievable. I'm surprised the defender got up after that one.
Going back to that Mexico City-Baltimore matchup, Charles, next week, that's 1-3 Baltimore versus 2-2 Mexico City. It's going to be a big game.
Oh, definitely. I mean, both of these teams are going to have to get really busy right after this fourth quarter and start planning against the San Diego and Baltimore. Those aren't easy teams to play.
Bruin straight back, looking for Weston, but the pass a little bit behind him. Bruin looking just a touch uncomfortable, and for good reason.
Yeah, and I know you love rollouts, Cam. Maybe we'll see a rollout for Bruin.
Kind of surprised we haven't seen more of him outside the pocket, considering he is so good outside the tackle box. There he goes now. And now he's going to take off and run. Nobody was open, and he lost a yard. That's a sack for John Osiris.
Yep, Osiris is playing the game of the season, I think, for him. That was just an angry hit, too.
Sorry, Mike.
O.J. Bruin 6'6", and with that type of speed, it's kind of hard to bring down, but Osiris showed you how to do it.
Being a little premature, saying Mexico City's 2-2. They got to take care of business in the last 11 minutes. O.J. Bruin going to take off and run. Bruin trying to get the first down. He can't do it. The coverage down the field was excellent, and Bruin tried to get it himself, but that's a lot of yards for a quarterback to run, and Jacksonville's going to have to punt.
I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback do a spin move.
Yeah, maybe feeling himself a little bit there in the open field, trying to make something happen. That's called doing a little bit too much, right, Charles? When you feel like your back's up against the wall.
No, he tried. He put the effort in there, but man, the defense of Mexico City, this second half, man, Mexico City is on fire on both sides of the ball.
Well, Mexico City's defense has been pretty good all season long, Charles. We saw them last week. They held Louisiana to just 19 points, but their offense was, a big deal. They're Mexico City 8th in the league coming in, giving up just 18.7 points per game. That average is going to go down after tonight if Jacksonville can't get it together. Alex Bond and company all the way in the backfield. They give Van Dam forward progress, a loss of about 3.5.
That's a play, a shot in the arm for the defense for Jacksonville. They need that. Let's see if they can build on it.
There's plenty of time. If they can push the Aztecs back, get some good field position, they got a shot. Sipe to throw. Sipe, all kinds of time, rolling to his left. Sipe, deep shot, all the way down the field, and it's just over the outstretched arms of Terrasas. Terrasas in Spelling now a combined 0 receptions on 6 targets.
Yeah, he had the quarterback, Sipe, had the option of tucking it in and getting a couple yards. Maybe taking a page out of the O.J. Bruin playbook.
There's the updated numbers even, but the turnovers are the key difference in this game, 2-0 in favor of Mexico City. They have 10 points off those turnovers. Now 3rd down and long. We'll see if Jacksonville pins their ears back and brings pressure or sits back. Kings bring 5. Sipe nearly hit as he threw. The pass is incomplete. And 3 and out forced by John Bond in the defense. Jacksonville gets the ball back.
Yeah, I think that play of John Bond got that defense fired up. Now they're going to get the ball back in the offense, and let's see what kind of adjustments Jacksonville made after the first couple series in the second half.
Cale Barrett Jr. on to punt. The wind in his face, but a decent kick to midfield. Wow, terrific coverage. Amazing. As well.
I don't know how they do that.
That was Ben Charbs making the play on special teams.
I think that's the worst job on the football team, is to be the punt returner.
They like the abuse, apparently.
Oh my gosh. You have to have nerves of steel.
Good field position at the 50 for O.J. Bruin. We'll start with a toss to Vakarian that is completely destroyed by Dan Tritz. Depending upon who you ask, Charles, they say, well, defensive line just not having a particularly good season. This Mexico City defensive line is winning this game. Yeah,
and Tritz, he's the leader of the line there. He's always steady, strong, steady, always in great condition. He's the guy they lean on here in the fourth quarter.
Bruin to throw. That pass is caught. Wide open. Weston. Weston breaks a tackle past the 30. Weston almost got down the side. I thought he was gone. Smokes. Stepped out of bounds. First down, Kings.
And they needed that. They needed that shot in the arm. It started on the defense, that big tackle by Bond. Throw it to your best wide receiver. Get him involved in the game. He was a little quiet there in the late second half. Excuse me, late first half, early first. Excuse me, golly, I can't speak. Early second half, but they're doing what they need to do.
That's fine. It's the end of the quarter. Put your 4s, 12s, 86s, and 68s up in the chat. Love you, Matt. We'll be right back.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Start of the fourth quarter alongside Charles Doherty. I'm Cameron Irvine. Ron Haynes and Frank Gooden in the stats truck for us tonight. And special thanks to Frank Gooden for wearing the 12 patch on the jerseys for Matt Wilson tonight and participating in this occasion as Weston, the intended target on that one, falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Smart play calling by Jacksonville. They're getting the right guys involved here, right time in the game. They need to do something. Got to walk away with points on the board. And all the pressure is on O.J. Bruin to make something happen.
That pass to Weston, his first completion in his last 4. Trying to get something moving. 2nd and 10. Ellington goes in motion. He's got 1 catch for 25 yards tonight. Bruin back to pass. With Miller coming off the edge. Weston with the catch to set up 3rd and short.
I know it's probably going to sound early in the game, but I think they need to have a little sense of urgency and some time management. Because Mexico City, when they put their nose down to the ground, they can eat up some clock.
Yeah, you definitely have to get points here. It's a 3-score game. You got to get something on this drive. Again, Mexico City leaving that middle open, anticipating something to the outside, and Vakarian runs right through the middle to the 9-yard line. Great play call.
Yeah, great play call. They saw that, and they missed it on the last one. I think they told the running back, hey, when you see that, you're running right behind that center, and you're going to get a first down. And we saw it.
Vakarian 83 yards on 17 carries tonight. Nine minutes left. Bruin looking, firing, intercepted! Dexter Jackson in the end zone, and when you needed points, you get nothing.
Yeah, I was the longer he stood back in that pocket, the more nervous I was getting because there was great coverage downfield. At that, if you're going to run the ball, I think that was the time. As a quarterback, that's the time to do it because everybody is deep in the end zone.
It just didn't look like there was a check down there, Charles.
Nope.
Trying to force something. Mexico City's, all three phases. The defensive line's creating pressure, the linebackers are creating turnovers, and the secondary is locking down this talented receiving core. They're winning at all three levels in the second half.
It looked like they were just daring him to throw it in the end zone.
8:54 left. Side throws it right back, and then a fumble, and it's recovered by Jacksonville. Saving the play, Bernard Gooden. Unreal.
Yeah, that was a huge save. Man, they needed that pump in the arm. The defense again, they rise to the occasion.
That was Tatalani Supremo, who just destroyed John Martin. 6'6", 335 coming at you. And we have a challenge from, what was that, Coach Lynn?
I'm not sure what the challenge is. It was definitely an interception.
Oh, the challenge is, was it an interception? Because if it wasn't, it'd be an incomplete pass. And it stands, and the Aztecs will lose a timeout. Not a bad challenge when all things considered. When you're talking about, that's the difference in maybe winning or losing right there. But lost the challenge. It was an interception. That was John Martin with the pick. And Jacksonville's right back where they started.
And now, again, pressure's on O.J. Bruin to do something. They're in perfect. The ball was handed to him on the silver platter here. Now he's got to do something to get some points on the board.
The Kings will try again. 8:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Hand off Vakarian, and Vakarian breaks off a tackle. Jackson cleans it up after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, great open field tackle by Jackson. Vakarian's not easy. We've seen Vakarian's been leaving black and blue marks on the Mexico City defense all night long. Great tackle by Jackson.
8.5 to go, 2nd and 8. Toss out to Sanders, who's really struggled tonight, but Sanders gets his best run of the night, 5-yard pickup. Shepard Vakarian looking for just his second 100-yard game in the 4K23 era. Had 138 yards against Canton. That was back in week 1 of last season, July 29th. Hasn't cracked 100 since. Right now, Vakarian sitting on 85.
Huge third down, Cam.
3rd and 3. Again, just need points. They're going to hand it off right up the middle, first down.
Nice.
Vakarian breaks a tackle. Vakarian touchdown.
Nice.
Shepard's in the end zone, and Jacksonville's back in this one.
I think they saw something on the middle of that defense. The last couple run plays, they took advantage of it. On that one was the best run of the night for Vakarian, taking it, 15, 16 yards into the end zone. He needed that score, Cam, to stay in this game.
It's good for 19, his longest run of the game, and there is his 100-yard game. For the first time since week 1 of last season, Shepard Vakarian having a strong night. And with 7:55 left, Jacksonville still has some time.
And that defense of the defense of Jacksonville has been playing great in the last 2 possessions. So Mexico City's, I think they're starting to open their eyes a little bit and not quite have the party getting warmed up on the sidelines yet.
Man, I'm never going to hear the end of it if I called Mexico City 2-2 in error on the broadcast, and then something magical happens for the Kings. Jeffrey Daggs on the return. Daggs breaks off a tackle, and then he's smashed. I think that's Martin playing special teams. First down to the 28.
Yeah, that was again kicking away from that guy. That was a very good return, and he almost, one tackler kept them from taking it all the way to the house.
Boom.
That was Aaron Don that stopped him on that play.
Jacksonville now has more total yards than the Aztecs tonight. Wild, but 3 turnovers have been killer. Blitz. Buford Van Dam runs the other way. 40, 50, Buford Van Dam. That's a long run.
Van Dam. Love it. Love it when the fullback gets the ball. Just showed the power, but great blocking by about the tight end. I mean, it was just one-on-one between him and Patrick Levine, the outside linebacker. That wasn't enough to bring Van Dam down.
And a perfect play call, too. Jacksonville was bringing heat off the left side. Toss it out to the right side. Van Dam goes for 30. Check that, 34. That is the longest play of any type tonight. And he now averages 7 yards per carry.
Somebody's got to stop that Van Dam fullback.
And off to Bentley. Picks up 6. And all of a sudden, Mexico City's ground game has come to life on this drive.
I'm telling you, I mean, that's the perfect scenario for Sipe when he knows he's got a running game he can rely on at this point of the game.
7:05 left. Now it's Jacksonville's turn to leave the middle open. They'll toss it outside, anticipating the run outside the hash marks, and Morrison is cut down. Morrison just 4 yards on 6 carries.
Bentley didn't get the memo on that one. I mean, running off tackle, he had wide open in the middle. I think maybe a little adjustment here and there, and next time they do that fan stunt, he'll run right up the middle.
Well, here you go, 3rd down and 1. They do it again. Bentley got a first down anyway to the 27-yard line.
Yeah,
Mexico City, 6 of 12 on 3rd down. What'd you say? I wasn't listening.
He knows what he's doing. I know. It's the story of my life. Ray Bentley knows what he's doing. He's a Hall of Famer.
6:18 to go. Boy, you called it earlier. Mexico City milks a lot of clock off these possessions. Buford Van Dam is loose again down to the 21-yard line, 6-yard gain.
Yeah, they found a secret weapon. I mean, last week it was Bill Henry, and now they've got Van Dam.
10 carries for Bentley, 8 for Van Dam, 6 for Morrison. In a balanced rushing attack, they have run the ball 24 times, passed it 28 times, 2nd and 4, 5:45 to go. Jacksonville's defense is wearing down. Hand off Bentley. They can't make the tackle, and Bentley just short of the first down. An arm tackle takes out Ray.
This is gut check time for Jacksonville defense.
They got to get this. If they can keep it a 2-score game, they still got a shot. 3rd and 1. 7 in the box. Flip. Morrison got it. To the 14-yard line. Will milk more clock.
Lot was there, but Morrison just had enough. Jacob Morrison, the second-year player from Las Vegas, just had enough power to take Vaught past the markers and get that first down.
Richardson goes in motion now. 4:50 left in the 4th. Handoff, Van Dam. This time, Taekwon Hale blew up the play, and John Patrick Levine cleaned it up, his 9th tackle.
And they got to dig in. Now's the time. They got to do some type of disruption on the offensive side, either an interception, a fumble, do something. They got to get the ball back.
4:20 to go. Corner playing deep off at the top of the screen. 2nd and long. Do they dare put it in the air? Sipe hands it back off to Van Dam, and boy, Jacksonville just threw everybody they could get on Buford Van Dam. Vaught and one other, Roy Towers, brings him down, and this feels like the game right here, Charles.
Well, yeah, I mean, and meanwhile, Mexico City is chopping off the time from the clock, and they're in field goal range, so they're not getting too angry that they're only getting a couple yards here and there on the runs in the last couple plays.
3rd down and 9. Look at this formation here. Man coverage. That moves the linebacker out. There is nobody in the middle right now. 3rd and 9, 3:38 to go. Mexico City's bleeding clock. They'll hand it off to Bentley. Cuts it right back up the middle of the field. And it's the Planet of the Apes. Touchdown, Ray Bentley!
That was, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like Sipe might have audibled on the line when he saw that it was no man's land there. No defenders in the middle of the field. I mean, smart play by Mexico City.
Watch Ray cut it right up the middle. Whoop! Right there. He just knew there was nobody there.
He wasn't touched till he got to the 2-yard line.
Wow, on a 3rd down and 9, and you get gashed right up the gut. That was an impressive play call by Mexico City, and they put a cherry on this one. And Charles, after last week, this Aztec offense scored 13 points. They score the most points of any of the 16 teams that played this week on an impressive drive to seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, the two-headed dragon of Van Dam and Bentley has just been incredible tonight. Just hammering down and taking the gas out of Jacksonville defense.
So 3:32 left for O.J. Bruin and company to try to put together some offense. Scored a touchdown on their last drive. As we mentioned earlier, I mean, they before that drive outgaining Mexico City. Joe Beasley nearly got a kick return there up to the 31-yard line. When these two play, Charles, you just never count anybody out.
No, you don't. And we need to see some urgency from the Jacksonville side. And, you know, it's not the best idea, but they're going to have to start looking at some deeper pass routes.
The last time Jacksonville won in this rivalry was the last time Jacksonville hosted Mexico City way back in season 14, pre-pandemic, February 11th, 2020. That pass from Bruin is caught to the 49-yard line by Ellington. They'll go no huddle.
Yeah, smart. Could have argued they could have done some of that on the last series, but here we are.
Bruin's pass caught to the 36-yard line. That catch hauled in by King Alexander, the rookie, his first catch of the night. 3:05 left. Bruin over the middle, caught by Beasley to the 20. Wow, they are making quick work of this.
Just like that.
Bruin, 5-man rush. Pass caught. Ellington down to the 5-yard line. They're going to score before the 2-minute warning.
City's got to stop. Has to stop this hurry up, with a timeout or something.
Bruins all over the field. Pass is incomplete. Tried to squeeze it in there to Ellington. There's Merrick Itera.
That's what the Mexico City defense needs, something. Now they can settle down and get the right play in, because they were clearly there was a mismatch on that quad look from Jacksonville.
2nd and goal. Yeah, John, 17th meeting between these teams. It's more of an old school rivalry than a current rivalry, but these two met 3 times in the playoffs, season 5, 11, and 13. It's been a while, but Mexico City and Jacksonville can throw down. Bruin, end zone pass, caught, complete is short, just short of the goal line.
Oh, man, that's a close one.
Pass was a little bit behind him. Bruin goes play action rollout.
Here we go.
Bruin, you can run. He does run. He scores. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
That's just showing off. I think he was already in the end zone when he dove.
What a play call.
Yeah, what a series. I mean, that was quick strike. How many seconds did that take off the clock?
Not much. We'll get the official tally here in a minute, but I mean, before the 2-minute warning, gives you a fighting shot. Even if you don't get the onside kick, maybe you force Mexico City into a field goal, right? You got a 2-score game still. I mean, it gave them a shot, a slim shot, but a shot nonetheless. Bradshaw's extra point is good. 31-20 is your new score. 1:06. They drive nearly 70 yards.
Are they doing a regular kickoff?
It's almost, I think they're going to onside kick. That's almost a yard a second.
Here we go.
Bradshaw lines it up. It is fielded. Uh-oh. You got to cover the returner. That is a walk-in touchdown for Mexico City. Are you kidding me?
Yep, right into the hands of cornerback Andrew Davison. You got to do a better onside kick than that. You can't kick it directly to the receiver. You got to make it hard.
That is the second onside kick recovered for a touchdown this season in the SFL, but you could see it there, Charles. What was that? Offensive lineman directly tackle Marcus Spriggs. You got a 310-pound lineman trying to cover the up man. That is a mismatch, and every time O.J. Bruin does something to keep this game close, something happens not in his control that ends up leading to a 3-score game.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and I don't think Jacksonville can recover from that one.
What a wacky game.
I didn't think it was going to be high scoring at the beginning, but wow.
14-6 at the half. 24-14 here in the second half. Beasley takes a knee. Next Monday night, Charles, it's the Canton Classics hosting the DC Dragons. That is where we'll be. Canton is in my view, has played the best football through 4 weeks. I'm not going to say they're better than the defending champs, but they have looked incredibly impressive. DC licking their wounds after their first loss of the season last week to Fort Worth. They're 3-1. It's going to be a good one.
It's definitely going to be a good one. We played Canton, and we still have some black and blue marks on us from that one.
DC is going to face quite a challenge. Some other games of note. In week number 6, Florida's at Alamo City. Alamo City's lost 3 straight games by 5 points or less, and now they've got to play the defending champions who are undefeated. That is a huge game. Louisiana is 2-2. They are at Seattle, which feels like a big test early for those two squads as Ellington gets a catch. I think they'll make it one more playoff before the 2-minute warning. They do. Bruin rolls out.
Oh, where did he go?
Totally fooled the defense, and that pass is intercepted. Well, it didn't fool the back end, Charles. That pass picked off by Gerard Brody. First down, Aztecs.
Yeah, wow. I mean, everything seems to be is going Mexico City's way on that one. Not the best advised pass into double coverage.
That was a terrific break on the ball. I mean, O.J. Bruin, look, Charles, I know that he's got 3 picks and the fumble and he's responsible for 4 turnovers, but it doesn't really feel like it, Charles, because in some ways I feel like he's responsible for Jacksonville even being in this game, right? I mean, he's made so many terrific plays.
He definitely has, and some of the bounces went the wrong way, but that Mexico City was on fire on all 3 sides. Special teams, offense, and defense, and it's hard to put points on a team that's that hot.
Pitch out to Bentley, doesn't get anything. Jacksonville used some timeouts. Also too, Charles, that the Tigga Clay injury was big in this one too, because on that last drive when Santa Fe I did it finally. When Mexico City was running all over him, there was no Tigga Clay on the field. That hurt him.
Yeah, definitely. You lost a lot of quality performance on that outside linebacking.
Hand off to Bentley, goes in a different direction. Ray Bentley shoves Levine, got a block from Terrasis. Ray Bentley down the sideline to the 9-yard line.
Holy smokes. He's come alive here in the second half.
The original bruiser.
Holy smokes. Let's see. He jumps. What a smart run by Bentley. It was an inside run call, and he bounced outside because he saw the gap and just took complete advantage of it. And the offensive blocking adjusted for him and gave him the support he needed to get that good run in the books.
We have seen Bentley twice now make tremendous decision-making. 14 carries, 88 yards. The graphic will eventually populate 148 rushing yards for Mexico City tonight. And the rookie, and some more. Morrison with the touchdown.
Holy smokes. I mean, between Bentley has a 6-point yard per carry. Buford has 5.5. They're expecting one of those two to get the ball. They hand off to Morrison, and he takes it to the house.
Earlier tonight, Navante Richardson got his first touchdown this season. Now Jacob Morrison gets his first touchdown of the season for Mexico City, and they have scored 45 extra point pending.
Yeah, so whatever adjustments that Mike Daggs did to the offensive playbook, hats off. It's showing on the field.
175 through the air, 157 on the ground, and I don't know if you can believe this, Charles, but Jacksonville still has more total yards than the Aztecs do tonight. 344 to 332.
That's unbelievable. And now there's time just...
Beasley lost the ball, recovered. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Things aren't going right at all for Jacksonville this late in this game. Absolute nightmare for them, but let's hope they can put some points on the board before the clock expires.
Beasley ran into his own teammate. It's just, man, it's something.
It rains, it pours.
$12.83 super chat from Mike Daggs. An amazing night to honor the great Matt Wilson. I love you, Matt. I think about you and miss you every day. Thank you, Frank, for being a part of tonight, and thank you, Cam, for tonight and all you do. Appreciate you, Mike, for oh boy, that was almost a beautiful pick from Gerard Brody. He already has one. Jacksonville just wants to get on the plane and go home. This one got away from them, but they're a pretty spicy team. I would expect the Kings to be back.
Oh, definitely. They've got quality players on both sides of the ball. Just a little bit of tweaking to the playbooks, just like Mike Daggs did after last week's game, and they'll be back in it.
Pass is incomplete. We didn't even mention the over-under at the top of the game. There's been so much stuff going on tonight. Mexico City beat the over-under by themselves. It was 38.5. Mexico City was a 4.5-point dog. They obviously covered that. Two underdogs win on the Monday Night Spectacular doubleheader after Indy blanked Arizona earlier tonight. And this one ended up turning into a rout as well.
A great night for Mexico City to get a home win.
This was a tough assignment for the Kings to come into this building on a night like this. This Bruins pass caught by Ellington. And Jacksonville will burn one of their two remaining timeouts.
What was the score at halftime?
14-6.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Scored 31 in the second half.
That's crazy.
Copeland Jr. goes in motion as we play out the home stretch in this one. We have reached midnight on the East Coast. Thank you all for staying up late with us on this Monday night. That pass is incomplete on a fourth down, and that should do it.
Yep, that should do it. That was Mexico City just came out at halftime, and they just knew exactly what they needed to do, made the right adjustments, and just executed to perfection.
68 viewers still, Charles. I dare any other sim league to broadcast after midnight on the East Coast and see if you can get numbers like that. Our community is the best.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm still awake.
Well, this game has not put us to sleep. That's for sure.
No, not a game. I'm not a spring chicken like you are.
Larry Love comes in to take some knees for Mexico City and a couple more, and that'll be it. So we got a good one next week, DC and Canton. That's going to be fun. Whole crew will be back for that. Be on the lookout, folks, for information about the convention. We're also going to be announcing some new additions to the progression system, as well as some improvements to the progression system starting next season, but we'll be making those announcements sometime very soon. All that and more coming up here in the SFL, so you won't want to miss that. $5 super chat from Takeda Yuki. Inspired performance tonight by Mexico City. An angel is watching over them. Prayers out for number 12, Matt Wilson. Couldn't have said it better myself. One more kneel down, and that'll do it. They will not have to punt. Mexico City's going to take a 45-20 victory. And in this long line of games, this is the second highest margin of victory in this 17-game series, only bested by a game played in Season 17. So an impressive route that Jacksonville does not take often or lightly. Aztecs will improve to 2-2. Kings will fall to 2-2. Your final thoughts, Charles, and we talk about players of the game.
Well, Mexico City needed this. I mean, we said they haven't won a home game, lost 2 in a row. If they're going to win a game, tonight was the night to do it with all of the the pomp and circumstance and honor for Matt Wilson. Huge game. They had the energy coming in. There was excitement in the air in the hometown crowd, and they just played their tails off, and it showed on the field. I mean, I don't know who to give the game ball. I got a couple game balls. It's got to be, they got to go split it in half between Bentley and Van Dam. And then on defense, Evan Miller gave those 2 sacks. I think he gave them, and Osiris gave them the punch in the arm that they needed to take control in the second half.
Almost as many points off turnovers as Jacksonville had points in the game. 17-7, 17 points off 4 turnovers. I don't know who would win that fight for food, Charles, between Ray Bentley, Buford Van Dam, and Ray Bentley's kid. It could be a war for the ages, but yeah, I'm with you on that one. Maurice Lloyd, first career touchdown, heads up play, right, to pick up that fumble and return
that
it.
too. I'm sorry. Yeah,
play through the whistle. I think I'm gonna give it to Lloyd just for that play alone. But still, 8 tackles, led the defense for the Aztecs as well, with 1 assisted tackle. All right, that's enough for us. Let's have a great rest of your night, everybody. For Ron Haynes, Rochelle Colston, Tyler Falk, Chris Curtis, Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. And remember, always choose happy. Love you, Matt. We'll see y'all next weekend. Good night.